Good morning. It is Friday. You've reached the end of the work week and we've got a lot of weather to break down. Well, thanks for joining me. I am Leeanna Mclean. Let's take a look at some of your icons through this afternoon for Atlantic Canada. We're into a bit of a southwesterly flow, so we're seeing conditions kind of warm up for places like Clarenville over towards the Avalon Peninsula. A little bit warmer too for areas along the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia, but we've been dealing with some freezing rain through the overnight period for the Avalon. Very gusty winds along the western shores as well. Avalon through the late morning period up to about 80 kilometers per hour or so. A lot of that rain going to be winding down. Just some lingering flurries, sea effect snow for New Brunswick, parts of Cape Breton as well as along the North Shore Mountains as well of Newfoundland. And then across southern Ontario, well, that's where we are going to be getting back into that squall activity. After we see that clipper snow moving out, we do have some bands forming off here on Georgian Bay, Superior as well. Through the late afternoon and evening period, we could be getting into some flurries for the GTA. And then we do have a snow squall watch in effect for places like Kincardine, Orillia over towards Barrie. This is a look at some of our snow totals. But now it's time to get into what is all of the meaning behind the polar vortex, that frigid cold air coming from the north. Here's Jacqueline.
And no frills.
Good morning. You have made it to Friday. It's the weekend. It's time to celebrate, but we have to get through a few weather events first. I'm Leeanna Mclean, taking over for Nicole as she is out on vacation. This is a look at some of our systems for Friday. Now, across Atlantic Canada, we're dealing with some warmer temperatures, especially for the Avalon Peninsula. We're into a southwesterly flow, turning into more of a southeasterly flow by the time we get to late Saturday into Sunday, so temperatures are going to take a dive. Through this morning, we are dealing with some gusty conditions for the western shores of Newfoundland, some precipitation as well. We got into some freezing rain through the pre-dawn hours for places like St. John's. A lot of that winding down as that front continues to push east. We are going to be dealing with some lingering sea effect flurries. This is for Cape Breton, the Fundy Shores, over towards western Newfoundland as well on the backside of this low. It's all about the lake effect snow for southern Ontario, squalls coming off Huron as well as Superior. They're going to merge, so for places like Kincardine, Orillia, Owen Sound, that's where we are going to be the heaviest hit. Now, we are dealing with some watches, snow squall watches in effect, but by the time all is said and done, up to about 25 centimeters for some sections. GTA getting into that snow activity through the late afternoon. Here's Jacqueline on why we're dealing with such frigid temperatures. It's the polar vortex.
Your Weather Watch continues on this Friday. It is the 25th of January. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's going to be a cold start to the day today. So if you're just stepping out, checking the temperature, thinking, okay, what am I going to wear today? How am I dressing the kids? Think warm thoughts. Temperatures much cooler than they have been these last couple of days. We've got some light snow happening throughout parts of the GTA. We just have this weak clipper system that's been moving through. And then once this clipper system tracks off, we're going to start to see our winds really pick up. And then we've got lake effect snow moving in from Huron and Georgian Bay. And this is why we do have the snow squall watch in place. These are going to be the hardest hit areas. So if you have travel plans up the 400 towards Barrie, this is where you could be seeing more significant snow. We're looking at a daytime high today of -5 for the city of Toronto. So a lot colder than it was yesterday and even the day before. We saw temperatures drop significantly through cottage country. Northern Ontario is really cold right now as well. All right, here's a look at the future radar of these squalls that are going to be coming in, and a lot of them are going to be reaching in through the GTA, through Hamilton, up through Kitchener, Orangeville, Barrie, over towards Toronto throughout the day today. They will be easing throughout the day tomorrow, but temperatures are going to be frigid. Toronto traced to a couple of centimeters. I would say anywhere throughout the GTA, we're looking at about a 5 centimeter range. Up to Barrie, it's going to be a closer to 5 centimeters, and then the further north you go, that's where you're going to be seeing 10. But if you're headed towards like the Bruce Peninsula, you're looking at the potential for about 20 to 25 centimeters of snow. Tomorrow afternoon, it's frigid, -9, feeling more like the high teens when you factor in that wind. And then next week, we've got a fairly significant system on the way. Now, the exact track of this storm, that's certainly still uncertain because it's not coming in until late Monday and into Tuesday. But regardless, just to show you, we do have a fairly significant system on the way that could be bringing us some decent amounts of snowfall. All right, imagine this. You're just about to head to a warm, sunny destination. Your plane is getting de-iced and everybody gets sick. Take a look at this next story. Good morning. You're going to want to bundle up today. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is the 25th of January and it is cold. cold, much colder than it has been these last couple of days. We're watching some lake effect snow returning throughout the day today and into tomorrow. It'll ease tomorrow. These bands are going to be the strongest throughout the day today. So let's keep that in mind as we are heading out. A lot of people maybe going up to their cottage this weekend, or you've got some weekend plans up towards, say, the Bruce Peninsula. That is where we do have the snow squall watch in place. This stretches over towards Kincardine and in through Barrie. So keep this in mind if you are going to be traveling up the 400 today. Things could be a little slick. All right, today we are seeing a daytime high of -5, feeling more like -13. So bundle the kids up. We're talking full snowsuit today. And temperatures are going to continue to be frigid anywhere across the province. We're going to feel like -13 through Toronto. It is going to feel more like -22 up through Sudbury, -12 in Kingston. It is going to be cold elsewhere across the province. And I wanted to show you the north because that is what's coming to us over the weekend. Now, we're not going to feel like -35 or anything, but it's still going to be really cold. All right, so the squalls, they're going to be easing throughout the day tomorrow, but some of them could be reaching as far as the GTA. So the potential is there for 2 to 5 centimeters, fairly widespread. The closer you are to the lakeshore, the less snow you're going to see. So we're looking at about 2 centimeters. And then the closer you are to Barrie, that is where we're going to be seeing closer to 5 to 10, especially areas further north. And then the hardest hit areas around Kincardine and through the Bruce Peninsula, about 25 centimeters. All right, the next system that's on the way is going to be plaguing us early next week. And this one could be bringing us some significant snowfall. Now, models are still in disagreement, so we're not going to start throwing out numbers, but travel could certainly be disrupted. All right, kids, they get excited at some of the cutest things, and this little girl is thrilled about ice castles. Good morning. Your Weather Watch continues. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Friday. It is the 25th of January. And here are some of the top stories that I'm going to be following for you. From clippers to cold, we're going to see some snow and Arctic air filtering in through our region. We've got significant snow on the way for next week, and Niagara is frozen. Some great video you don't want to miss coming up in Force of Nature. We do have a snow squall watch in place along the shores of Huron and Georgian Bay. We're going to start to see those northwest winds really start to pick up in intensity, and we're going to start to see those bands coming off of the lake, some of them even reaching the Toronto area. We're not expecting a ton of snow, but a couple of centimeters can make your afternoon pretty slick, afternoon commutes specifically. Now we're looking at -5 for the city of Toronto. It is going to feel much cooler than that. When you factor in the wind, it is going to feel more like the -teens. Throughout the day tomorrow, we've got a little bit more snow on the way with another clipper system that's going to be tracking its way through. For much of the GTA, we're looking at about a trace to 5 centimeters, trace through the downtown core, 5 centimeters closer up through Barrie. So keep that in mind if you are going to be traveling that 400 today or even into tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we are bitterly cold, feeling more like the -20s this weekend in some areas. -9 is our daytime high for Toronto, but again, feeling much colder with the wind. And then our next significant system is going to make an appearance during the early part of next week, bringing in some pretty decent snowfall amounts. All right, do you know how to skate? Well, if you do, Rachel Schutzen has some wonderful ideas of what you should be doing this winter. Hi there and welcome to The Brief. Chris, Leeanna, and Emily joining you. And because it is Friday, you guys, this is where we do our presenters' picks. We get to show you what we pick to be our favorite video of the week. And Chris, you are lucky number 1.
All right, we're going to take you to Hawaii here and just check this out. So I think this was really something, and also to enact some laws to protect great white sharks, because you think people are afraid of sharks? Try the opposite. They're one of the most hunted creatures on the face of the earth. So we need some laws to protect them because they're so important to the ecosystem in the ocean.
Have you seen Rob Stewart's film?
Which one was that?
When it was about the sharks, like the shark fin soup and whatnot.
Oh, yeah,
he was trying to protect them.
Yeah.
So next up, the Bulletin of Atomic Science.
Then it was like the nuclear war, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's been kind of stuck at 2 minutes to midnight for a few decades, hasn't it?
A lot.
It's moved by like 30 seconds, but not very much.
Okay, seconds here or there. Okay, my pick was such a huge story this week. Of course, it is the bikini hiker. But she fell and passed away reportedly from hypothermia. So an incredibly sad story.
Entirely preventable, though.
Yeah.
Entirely preventable.
But we don't know if she was wearing a bikini at her time of death.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that.
I mean, vanity is not a new thing.
No.
So, I mean, it's shameful that it happened. But
look at us.
There you go. How's my hair?
Right?
So, all right, shifting gears here.
Yes. Yes.
Our latest
Poll
poll question. So what is your least favorite weather expression? So we picked some of these. Mine personally, the white stuff drives me. I just want to throttle
I don't
somebody.
like that one. I don't like mixed bag
No, I don't.
either. Like, what mixed bag? What does that really mean?
How about you, Emily?
I'm going to go hot enough for you because I love the heat. But
Yeah.
your responses, Richard said he doesn't like the saying, it's a dry cold, because cold is cold, let's just face it. And then Susan agrees with me, but on the other end, cold enough for you?
Yeah. How about at least you didn't have to shovel it.
Yeah, exactly.
Rain, at least you don't have to shovel it. Well, we would love to hear from you. Send us your response. This is how you can contact us or at Weather Network on Twitter.